That's not my thing. Let me tell you what's my thing. I am not good with keys, y'all. And many of my past clients will tell you this, like they'll give you a ring of keys, right? Because one's to the shed, one's to the front door, one's to wherever, And so you've got 6 keys and you got the front door and it's hot because it's Florida and you're sweating.
Or it's raining.
Yeah, and you just want to get in this damn house and the buyers are behind you and that's where I fumble is key locks.
They don't teach you anything about keys and locks.
Or Supra in real estate
school,
nope.
do they? What do you think of the music?
Love the music.
Perfect.
Chill. There's a lot of podcasts that the music's super annoying.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of podcasts, everybody, welcome to our first maiden voyage of the Florida Housing Hour podcast. I'm your host, Josh High. Joining me today is Realtor extraordinaire Tara Burley from Brandon, and we're going to just jump into it. So, how was your day today?
I had a great day.
Yeah, we're kind of late in the day. It's almost 3:30.
Yeah.
So we're a little later. Not quite late night, but still in business hours.
Yes.
So we're still working.
Yep.
So what did you do? Where are you coming from? That's an interesting story.
Coming from our photo shoot for our real estate team. It was located over in St. Pete, and we did it at this huge mansion. It was epic. It was 3 stories right on the water, like boat dock going out. Gorgeous.
Wow.
And we did some lifestyle photos. We did like 3 different, changes of outfits, and we did headshots and team photos and just got all of our marketing material ready to go.
So your headshot's not 25 years old?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Not to say anybody's is 25 years old.
I mean, there might be some people out there.
It's kind of hard to stay motivated to get a new headshot, right? Because you like the one you have, and it's like, well, that looks nice. That looks good. I'll just use this one again.
Yeah. But you should update it.
You should.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people can't recognize you anymore, right?
It's a true statement.
Yeah. All right. So tell me a little bit about your background. Where are you from?
I am born and raised right here in Brandon, Florida.
Okay.
Yep.
So you've seen some change. Do you feel old when you tell people what Brandon used to look like?
So I didn't used to, but recently I have. Like I went to PetSmart the other day and the guy was like, where are you from? I was like, I'm actually born right here. And he was like, there's people like that?
Those?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, so now, yes, now I feel old. I also just saw an old home video of the Brandon Mall being built and my husband riding his 4-wheeler around.
All the pastures and all that.
Yes. So now, I'm starting to feel old.
Well, it's like, you hear old people be like, oh, I remember when all this was orange groves and cow pastures and 60 was 1 lane.
Yeah. I love those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
gotta respect them.
I mean, I guess I would say it's really not that long ago, but it really was kind of long ago. Because I remember when they widened 60, I was probably in middle school when they did that. And we would come over to the movies all the time.
So like Bell Shoals will probably be widened when like my son is in high school because that's how long it's taking. What are we on, year 10? Someday.
I said that yesterday. I said that, one day Bell Shoals is going to be the most beautiful road in Hillsborough County.
Someday.
But not today. Sorry you're late. Sorry that. So what about your background? How did you get, when you were a little kid, did you want to be a real estate agent?
No.
No? How did you fall into this?
So I fell into real estate. I was going to USF for marketing, and I had a family friend that was in title, and she was like, you'd be the perfect sales rep for title. And I'm like, title, like insurance, like what car? Like I had no clue. And she took me under her wing, and
Who was that?
Sue Luther with All American Title, and she trained me right out of the gate, and she did an amazing job at it. I feel like I learned a lot from her, and I started in the very front office at the very front desk, and she moved me around, and then she finally said, "You're ready. Go start marketing." And I started marketing for the company, and that's how I got into the real estate bubble.
Okay.
Yep.
So what took you to being a realtor? Was that your next stop as a real estate agent, or did you go other places before that?
So once I got into title and once I started marketing for real estate agents, the real estate agent was my client. So I got to know them. I got to see like what they were doing, their lifestyles. And I just knew eventually I didn't want to be in title, forever. I didn't want to own a title company. I didn't want to manage a title company. I kind of hit my max as far as like the marketing went, and I wanted something more. And so I wanted to take the jump. I wanted to be an agent.
And how long have you been an agent?
Now 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yep.
Is
2
it
years.
everything that you thought it would be?
Absolutely.
Or is it different than you thought it would be? Or is it you pretty much expected what it is?
I expected exactly what I'm living right now. I feel like all of my work and all my dreams that I've been hoping for are finally like the ball is rolling now.
That's a big
I'm
statement.
in a really good spot right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about the next 6 months, the next year. I'm very excited.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
great. That's really good to hear. Because I think
Yeah.
a lot of people right now are questioning the real estate business and their choices over the last maybe year.
If somebody would say in 30 years from now, do you want to use Tara Burley as a real estate agent? I would hope that I still have a really good reputation. So my goal would be to, keep my hands on all my files and keep a good relationship with all of my clients to where in 10, 15, 20 years, I still have relationships with these people and they still want to work with me. I want to have a good reputation. I want to get too big for my britches. I don't want to I want to keep my hands on all my files. It's so important to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that disconnect is the downfall.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't want somebody to call me and not get me. Like I want to keep my hands on it. Mm-hmm. It's important.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's very noble. So how does your background coming up through title? How many years were you in title?
7.5.
Okay. 7.5 years in title. So how does that background give you an edge as a real estate agent?
Oh my God. A lot.
Too much, maybe? Sometimes? What do you
Maybe.
think?
I don't know. Like for my clients, I micromanage everything. Like I want to know what's going on with every single part of it because I know. Mm-hmm. I know the flow. I know what's next. And I feel like...
Or more importantly, what could be a surprise, right?
I don't like surprises.
What you could walk into like a Jack in the Box. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why is this blowing up?
Yeah, I don't want that. Mm-hmm. I want to keep my hands on it and I want to know what's going on in every single file. Yeah.
Okay. So the brokerage you're at now, Century 21 Circle, can you talk a little about the actual brokerage? What's that all about?
It's a huge brokerage. They started up north and they came down here and bought out some offices and they've continued to grow.
Is that where you've
franchise.
always been as a realtor for 2 years, Century 21?
Yep. Was a Century 21 affiliated and then we got bought out by Century 21 Circle recently.
Okay. What led you to join a team versus go solo?
Ooh, I'm a team person. My background's cheerleading of 13 years. I coached for 6. So that's a very big piece of me is a team. I just like the team mentality. I like being able to push things off on each other, vacation. I don't know. I don't want to be solo.
Tell me a little bit about the team that you're on and like what are the benefits of being on a team? Kind of a double question.
So I'm on a team and Cabot Brown is our lead, our broker associate. And shout out to Cabot. He's the best.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah, please.
Cabot was the first real estate agent to ever come into this office.
Really?
When I opened this office, he was still down the road.
I love that.
On 60. I only had one chair in this whole office, and I was working off of a 6-foot banquet table from home. Like I literally just signed the lease and got the keys to move in.
He's gonna love that.
And then he was coming. I went across the street to Walmart and I bought a chair. I bought a metal black folding chair. And we've still got it at the house. I call it the Cabot chair just because that's why it's the only kind of chair that I have like that. This one single chair. And it was for him to come. I don't know what he thought about. I told him, I'm like, dude, I just got the keys. Like literally, none of my furniture's here. Nothing's here yet. I'm brand new to this place. So it's funny that's a coincidence.
That's a good story. I've got some good stories too. He's been amazing to work with.
Yeah. Does good
he's
business.
a family guy. I've got a family and we respect each other as far as like the family side goes and vacations. And that's one of the best things with working with a team is me as a solo agent, if I go on vacation or whatever I'm doing, I know I have support. I have a backing. Mm-hmm. And that to me is everything. And same for him. When he goes on vacation with his family, he knows I've got his back. Like there's a backing.
Yeah, you
and
have to have some
support.
kind of,
Yes.
you have to bridge that gap somehow.
Yes, because solo agents, like we're busy.
Yeah, it never stops. If you don't let it stop, it'll never stop.
Exactly.
You can't get away. So it's nice to have people to rely on to fall back on when you need to take a week or two off.
We've got some other buyer's agents that have come on to the team. Very excited about that. And then a transaction coordinator that, oh my God, keeps us in line. She's great. Her name's Chelsea, and she's phenomenal.
So can you tell me what does your transaction coordinator do? Because I've heard TCs run the whole entire transaction, and I've heard others that they just file paperwork. So what's your experience with that?
This one is the GOAT, and she does everything. She literally, once we have an executed contract, she'll put it into the system. She'll get all of our dates scheduled into our calendars, me and Cabot both. She will get us lined up with the lender, with the title company. She introduces herself to all parties. I mean, she's like a puzzle. You know, she's putting together a puzzle, and she's getting all of our pieces, and she's making sure all of our paperwork's in line, all signatures are good. She's just crossing T's, dotting I's, and making sure we're good in back of house.
I'm always super impressed when a new contract comes through here and it says there's a TC involved.
Yep.
And they're like, boom, here's an email.
Yep.
It's got all the contacts. It's got all the dates, all the contingencies, all of this, anything funky, outstanding.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, that's great. This is going to be a good one because we know who to go for.
If you have a TC, it's great. She's like the circus leader, you know, because our side can run smooth, but it's not just our side. There's other moving parts to this contract. There's other agents. Not all agents are, you know, in line. Like some are sporadic. And then you've got, you know, your title and you've got your lenders. There's a lot of moving parts. So a TC is just somebody transaction coordinator to make sure everything's being facilitated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worth their weight in gold.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah. Clients love them. I mean, they're good.
Yeah, I would totally agree. You talked about a lot of moving parts and a lot of stories in the real estate transactions. So what are some stressful things that come up, and then how do you deal with and manage that stress, not only for you, more importantly for your clients? How do you keep people calm,
jumping off a ledge,
and not keyed up and ready to pounce over every little thing?
Yeah.
How do you approach that?
Just setting the precedent right at the very beginning, letting them know, like, don't fall in love with this house, you know, let's get through inspection. Like there's just communication, setting the bar, letting them know what's going on at the very beginning. And I think just giving them a heads up, no surprises.
Right.
No surprises.
Right. Surprises are bad.
Yeah. I hate a surprise.
No, we don't want any surprises. What's, do you have any examples of what maybe like some huge thing that happened to you? What's the last surprise that happened in a transaction that you weren't expecting?
Oh, I had a good one. Literally last week.
You remember it, right?
Yeah. So the house was listed as the roof only being 4 years old. And my inspector was stating that it was 10 to 11 years old. So huge 7-year, discrepancy. And so pulled the permit. Permit's good. Complete re-roofing done 4 years ago. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. Why is it so bad? Why is it so torn up, And I come to find out the roofing company is now out of business. And it looks like it was not a prideful job, right? Maybe some old shingles, perhaps. And it just wasn't done well.
Wow. 4 years.
4 years.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So how'd that resolve? What'd you do?
Seller credit. Compromised with a seller credit, and both parties agreed, and we moved on.
Easy as that. Was your buyer stressing out over that? Or
he wasn't happy. Yeah. The 7-year discrepancy when they thought, the roof was going to be good for another, 15 years. Like that definitely was a surprise.
Yeah. And roofs hadn't gotten any cheaper.
No. So I got a roofer, to come out, do a quote. Shout out to Jenkins Roofing for that. Got me a quote, and we figured out how much to fix it or replace it. And we crunched the numbers and compromised. All parties agreed.
Yeah. Good. Yep. Good deal. Yeah, we don't like surprises. We like to be able to navigate
Yeah. I'd rather know about
Smooth
it.
waters.
Yes. I'd rather know about it up front. That way I can just be aware of it.
Yeah. So you mentioned your family and your vacations and life balance and
Yes.
people. Tell me about your family.
So I'm married to a wonderful man, Tara Burley. He's my love of my life. We met back in 2010. So we've been together now for 13 years, married for 9. And he's my rock, and he's an amazing father, and he's a good worker. He works for Burley Business Centers, his own family company. They do commercial business. And our child, Kyson, he's 5. He's, we call him full throttle. He likes to drive dirt bikes and go-karts, and he's just pedal to the metal.
That's fun.
Never stops talking.
How do you manage that work-life balance? Because, all the realtors I know, they all want to be available like 24/7.
Yes.
I'm going to answer my phone at 10:30 at night if you call me.
I do.
How does that impact you in family time? How does that work?
Steven is amazing. Like, he's very good about knowing I work from my phone. I have to be on my phone. He's very supportive when it comes to that. Every once in a while it'll irritate him, and I'll need to put it down and refocus myself that okay, I can't get this moment back right now. I need to put my phone down. But when I do need to be on it, he's very supportive.
I think
Very
that
supportive.
a lot of this stuff, you don't necessarily have to sit down and write some kind of proposal or contract at 10:30 at night. Right.
No.
That's usually not what you're doing. You're either trying to calm something,
Fielding a
answer
call.
a question,
Yes.
make somebody feel better,
Yes.
and defer it to a time that you can jump in and actually do the work. You know, but I think going that extra mile and being available for people,
Yeah.
whether it's just a quick text reply or if they wanted to
Yeah.
ask you a question, I think that really does go a long way. And hopefully people don't abuse that too much. If they need something, then they know that they can ask you.
I care, right? So my clients, I don't care if they came in as a referral, if they were a family friend, if they were somebody random. I've dealt with, buyers from California, from New Jersey, from out of state, and I care. I care too much not to answer. If they text me a question and they need to know an answer, I'm not going to just ignore them just because it's, 7 p.m. I'm going to answer them. I can't. And if I don't answer, there's a reason. Because
Yeah, right.
I just care.
Right.
I don't want anybody to
but also,
lose a house or get upset.
When you return a text or a phone call in a reasonable amount of time,
Yeah.
that's almost the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just because you don't come back in the same minute.
Yeah.
Everybody's human. Yeah, we totally get that.
We're not robots.
So when you got started as an agent, do you have anybody that you looked up to that kind of shepherded you through being a new agent, joining a brokerage, and kind of stepping out on your own?
Absolutely. Diane Martin with Century 21, my company.
Okay. Shout out Diane
Shout
Martin.
out to Diane Martin. She's the GOAT. Not a lot of people know about her, but she is the GOAT. She's great.
Are you all in the same office now?
We're in the same office. Well, not the same location, but we both work for Century 21
brokerage.
Circle. Yeah, same brokerage, but just different location. She's out of a different office. But she is she's classy. She has a great reputation. She's been in the game. I couldn't even tell you how long she's been in the game, but it's been a while. And her clients, I used to handle her closings for title. And I remember sitting down with her clients, and they just spoke so highly of her. And I just think she holds herself to a certain standard.
She's one of the people, like you mentioned, in 30 years when somebody wants Tara to list their house.
Yes.
That's her.
That's
right?
my goal. I'm not trying to get, big and make a ton of money. I'm literally just trying to make a good product, have a well-oiled machine, have backing, and I want to fall back on a good reputation.
And that reputation will bring success.
Yes.
You don't have to, it'll happen.
Yeah, slow and
easy.
easy.
It doesn't have to be all at once.
No.
Right. Do you, speaking, you talked about success. How do you define success?
That's a good one. Happiness.
Happiness.
I think if I'm truthfully happy in my work life, and I'm truthfully happy in my home life and my family life, that to me means I'm successful. I just want to be truthfully happy in all parts. I think that determines success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could take that a few different directions. You know, you could get so busy and you could be bringing in tons of revenue, but you could be stressed
miserable
to the max
Yes.
and not have any free time, not have any family life balance,
Yes.
and just be completely pegged all the time.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. I don't want that. That's why I keep saying, like, I want to keep my hands on it. Like, I just want to have control over it. I don't want any surprise. Like, I don't know. I have a goal and I have a vision of like what I want, and I'm just trying to make it come true.
Would you like some wine?
Sure.
Let's crack this.
I mean,
open.
I'm not going to turn down wine.
There's a opener up there. All right.
Oh my
so
God.
we talked about your definition of success. You told me that happiness equals success is happiness.
Yeah.
Staying happy and not being broke, you know.
Oh my gosh. You are the best. You literally just saved my life.
Thank you. Do you consider yourself a salesperson?
Yeah.
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 You're a salesman.
I
Saleswoman?
think it's in my personality for sure.
I don't consider myself a salesperson.
See, and I would say you're a salesperson.
I guess I like the education. You know, I like to show people their options.
Yeah.
But I'm not a hard closer. So
yeah,
I'll
you ain't
present
gonna fight.
I'm not a car salesman.
No,
you
neither
know?
am I.
So that's not, and I always struggle with that internally, thinking like, man, this isn't for me. I got to sell my way through everything and just be out there on all the time.
No.
And I can't.
We're just not hounders. Like we want people to use us because they want to use us. Like we got good products.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Like we have a good product out there, so they should want to use us.
Yep.
That's what we want.
I think Dave Ramsey says something about that, like the best buy from a salesman with a teacher's heart or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know the quote. I'd have to look it up, but that's kind of how I feel. You know, I'm here to present options and help you make a good decision from an
Yeah.
advisor standpoint.
Yes.
I'm not gonna hound you and chase you down and
No.
demand that you answer me and pay me a deposit right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Use us because we have a good product.
Yeah.
Like use us because we have something to bring to the table, not because you have to.
You know, what do you think? What's one thing? If you could package up one thing to say that you wanted to your clients to know about you, what do you want that to be?
Like a sentence? Like
Sentence,
a slogan?
fact, fun, whatever. No definition.
Just that I care. If I go down as the agent that actually cares about her files and about her clients, I'll go down as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are your I know that this is a hard question, but typically, where do your clients come from?
I get a lot from social media. Actually,
People that you know or people that know you through other people?
both.
Yeah.
Both. Literally 50-50. It's 50% of people I know and 50% of people that know the people I know. And it's a referral. You know, and then obviously I get internal, referrals inside of the team, which is fantastic.
Do you ever mess around with any of the Zillows or Realtor.coms or
Absolutely
anything like
not.
that? No?
Absolutely not. Stay off of them.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
well, they're very expensive. So they have to work.
Like 'em.
I think it might work for the right model.
Maybe.
You know, maybe if you have 20 agents that need leads to call,
Yeah.
those salesmen we were just talking about,
I'm not doing that.
maybe that's
Yeah.
where it works.
I'm not sitting on a phone. It's not me.
What do you think from a consumer's perspective? What's one of the most important things to look for when choosing a real estate agent, either to help you find a house and buy it or
Yep.
to list your house and sell it?
Somebody that's going to be hands-on the entire way from A to Z. They're not going to pass it over through a call center, 1-800, hand it over to somebody that you don't even know, and then somebody shows up that you've never met, and then you get passed over to somebody else.
Hands-on,
Hands-on.
point of contact.
Yep. From A to Z.
How old were you when you bought your first house?
I was, 2016. How old was I? 26?
Okay.
I don't know, 2016.
Thinking back to that time, what do you think the biggest and best piece of advice you could give someone coming out of high school or college or trade school or, somebody that's an adult now? What's the best piece of advice you could give them if they're ready to move out on their own?
Obviously save money, but I feel like everybody knows that. Save money. Start figuring out who you want to use as far as a lender goes. Because I feel like getting a lender relationship, they can help you. A lender can help you figure out, your goals, what you need as far as credit goes, or down payments, or what type of loan you may be interested in. So I think just getting a relationship with, a local lender or a real estate agent, saving money, doing research on neighborhoods, figuring out your location, school zones, just doing research.
Do you think the average American today can afford a house in Florida?
Yes.
The average American?
I think you need to plan financially. I think everybody, that is a life goal.
You know what
if you're not making that a life goal as an American, then what are we, like that should be your goal. And it doesn't matter what your income is. Make it a goal, even if it's a small property, even if it's a 1-bedroom, whatever, make it a goal.
Have you seen the attempt by the car industry on TikTok and Instagram to start to normalize $1,000 car payments? Have you seen these things?
No, I have not.
It'll be like a TikTok at a dealership where one person's walking around. They're like, Tara, how much is your car payment? What do you drive? And they're like, oh, I've got an Audi R8. My car payment's $1,450 a month.
Saw that on the TikTok.
And then they go to every single, they're all $800 and $1,200 and $1,500. And then like the sales manager or one of the older guys is like, I don't have a car payment.
Yep. I'm driving the beater that's paid off. Yeah, good for him.
That, I feel like that's like a concerted effort to make people okay with $1,200 car payments, because I've seen those multiple times.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they're bragging on the fact that they have a $1,200. But man, when I see credit reports with $1,200 and $1,300 car payments, I'm like, whoa. This is, you guys are, and then even, I don't know, everybody needs a car. It's hard to justify not, having a cash car, whatever.
Yeah.
But when I see two people, like a couple comes through, each of them has a $600-$700 car payment, that eats into their
debt to income
so much. Like there is so much that it's limiting them on. And if they did not have that, they could skyrocket their buying power. And it's just, I know everybody needs a car.
But don't go out and buy the $60,000 car right out of, college.
Right.
Yes.
Work up to it.
Yes, work up to it. That's a good point.
Absolutely.
That's a really good tip.
Yeah. And I feel like these, the car dealers and the real estate industry are not friends, because they're going to put you, they don't care what you got going on. Or you're buying a house, you should get a new car to put in the garage. Go ahead and sign here. And then that blows up.
No.
Yes.
That happened to me at a closing. That did happen to me at a closing. A closing stopped and halted because the wife had co-signed for her son's BMW the day before closing, and the husband had no idea. Yeah. I literally walked out. I was like, okay.
Was it saved or was it killed?
I don't remember.
The deal.
I think it was saved.
Yeah.
I think they had to go back through underwriting and like go back through the whole loan process.
Sometimes it's just paperwork. Other times it's a torpedo. It can kill the deal. It throws it out of whack and you can't do it anymore.
No, it was like a very expensive vehicle or car too. Like it wasn't like, anything cheap.
I know.
Because the husband was like, what do you mean you bought Jimmy a BMW?
I didn't think it would.
Exactly what she said. I had no idea that would show. Yeah. Kicker was he wrecked the first car.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So the mom went out and bought him a new one.
Do you think it's a good or bad idea to consider the house that you live in an investment?
Absolutely. If you're not, what are you doing? Absolutely, that's an investment. That is your investment. That's your first big investment of your life. Home ownership is so important. It's equity, man.
What's it do later in life for you?
Equity.
Options, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Live in a house for 5 years, build up some equity, flip it into a bigger one.
Or a cheaper one.
And
pay it off.
Or turn it into an investment property, a rental property. If we're not thinking like this, then what are we doing?
What's your favorite part of your job?
I love showing homes. It's so weird, and everybody always, has a reaction when I say that, but I genuinely like going and showing homes. I get excited. When I have my showings for the day, I pre-look at all the pictures and I want to know everything about it, and I feel like I get just as excited about walking into this home as the buyer. I'm like, ooh, let's look here. Like, I'm in it. I like it. I like being a buyer's agent.
That's great. You say that. Did you know I was an agent for 2 years?
I did.
I sold houses for 2 years.
I did.
Back in like the other time when everybody was an agent.
How'd
back
that go?
I did great. It was awesome.
Because you're a salesperson.
Well,
see,
maybe. I don't know about that, but the market had a lot to do with it too, I think. But, I ran out of my sphere quickly.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of new agents, they start and they get boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Because they had old coworker, aunt and uncle, and childhood friend. Yeah. And then boom, here's your 3 transactions or 5 transactions or 2 or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, man, we got this. Yeah. And then the real estate career kicks in.
And then you got to go hunt.
Yeah. Right. How are you going to keep it up? Right. Yeah. So that's probably, that happened to me, and the financial crisis happened to me too. So I wound up with I was carrying like 20 listings at the time, and you didn't want listings at that time because that's when every house on the street was for sale. When everything was really going down, and when it's slow rolling like that, you don't know I don't know what's going on with this. I can't sell these places. People are, we're getting to the end of our listing agreements, and people are getting mad that they're not selling, and it's like, what do you do? What am I supposed to do? I can't just create the buyers.
Can't pull them out.
Right. I'm marketing as hard as I can. But you say that showing houses is your favorite. That was my favorite. Like I sold for 2 years, and I've got a lifetime of stories of houses that I walked into.
Oh my gosh.
Or had to run away from. Or not even let my clients into to see it.
The amount of things that I have seen in people's it's hilarious.
It blows your mind.
Hilarious.
And it's not like it's not a random visit, right? You're not like dropping in to change the air filter as a maintenance guy.
No, we got to open cabinets and open fridge. Like we're looking at
your house is for sale. Yes. People are going to be coming here.
Yes.
to see your house.
Yeah.
And I think the worst story that I remember, it was a house in Plant City, and I was working with these really nice first-time home buyers. Had a decent budget. I love first-time home buyers. And I was taking them around, and we'd probably seen at least a dozen houses in the week or 2 prior. Mm-hmm. Like we'd been out, there's one in their first house that they've seen. And I went into this place. And have you ever seen that movie 7?
No.
With Brad Pitt?
No, but I love Brad Pitt.
I can't even begin to describe it. But all right, so I walk in, and the stench hits you first.
Oh, in the face. Cat pee? It's always cat pee.
That was part of it.
Yeah,
cigarettes? That too.
Oh God, it was both.
Yeah. It's just overall funk. Ugh. And the people are there.
Oh, they stayed.
It's a scheduled showing.
Perfect.
And they're there.
Chilling on the couch.
The first room I look in is at least a case of Budweiser cans crumpled up on the windowsill.
Perfect.
Of this Florida room thing in the front of the house. And then I start to see the dog poop. And I see like a little pile of dog poop over in the corner, and I'm like, okay, well, that's
there.
They got an indoor dog, it happens.
What is an indoor dog?
A dog that lives inside.
Where do they go to the bathroom? Oh, pee pads.
Outside. They do to the bathroom outside. But I say, every dog has an accident, right?
Okay.
Like maybe it just happened. Who knows?
Benefit of the doubt. Okay.
No judgment, whatever. Move on. Yep. And then I go in the next room, and the next room is a litter box. It's a dog litter box with dog poop.
Let me guess, carpet.
Wall to wall, carpet.
Of course, carpet.
Cigarette ashtrays, the big ones, like the smokers' ashtrays with the little things in the middle. The little cigarette holders in the middle.
My dad had that.
4 or 5 of those, completely full. You could not fit another cigarette butt in this thing.
It's like overpiling.
Stinks. The floor is wavy. It's an old frame house, old 1920s
inspection
house.
Mess.
And I ran through it before my buyers got there. Like I got there first, and so I was like,
so you prepped them.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even let them go in. Okay. So you're not. I said, guys, this isn't the high place.
This is not.
We're
not doing this.
And it gets worse. I mean, I went in the kitchen, and you could see the roach stuff everywhere, like the stuff that and you could. I don't know. Inspectors know what I'm talking about if they hear this. You can smell roaches. Have you ever smelled roaches?
No.
Like there's a smell that comes with a roach infestation.
Okay.
And I walked in, and that was part of the mix of the smell.
So where was the listing agent?
I don't remember.
They didn't prep you on this?
Know. Nobody told me. It was just I pulled it off the MLS, made an appointment, did my thing, and went in.
Yeah.
And the worst part was it was worse. Like it got to I probably won't even tell a story, but it got to the people. There was this big dude in the back of the house, like 500-pound guy, pretty much glued to a like a lazy boy in front of a TV.
Oh,
dog crap all around him, cigarette burns, beer
like
stains.
Like a hoarder situation? Like boxes up to the ceiling?
No, it wasn't like a hoarder thing. If it was a hoarder thing, it was like a recently cleaned up hoarding situation.
So why wouldn't they have picked up the name?
I don't know. And the nephew was there, and he was like this able-bodied, normal-looking guy.
Got it.
And he was like, yeah, trying to sell my uncle's house, get rid of this. And it was just so nonchalant about it. And I'm like, you don't see all this around here? I don't even want to get back in my car because my feet are probably disgusting.
Lysol.
Yeah, it just turned into a nasty mess. And my clients pulled up, and I was like, go the other way, guys. You're not going to want to
wrap
be here.
around.
Yeah, we're just going to go to the next one.
Yeah.
We'll be early. Like this, where you don't
it
want
is what
this.
it is.
And that was just one story, but I agree with you. Like getting into especially when you get into the plate, like the custom homes and the nicer places that you never really get to go into.
I've walked in one time to a showing. I was there early, and this guy was just sitting on his recliner drinking. Could probably tell he was drunk. And I felt so uncomfortable. So I immediately like backed up and I texted my buyers and I was like, I feel so uncomfortable. Like maybe if you guys come, it was a husband and wife, I'll feel more, but this is very awkward
that's weird.
for me. Like
right. Because realtor safety is a real thing.
Yes.
Right. It's not just a scare tactic. It's like this guy called me, wants me to meet him at this vacant house.
Yep. Yeah.
Let me go walk into a trap.
Yeah.
And you're a true crime junkie, right?
I am. And so that's, it's happened. Like I've had, a buyer out in Tampa, single man, want to go meet at a house. And I did.
If you want to like manhandle that thing, you can pull it and put it anywhere you want it. So if you want to sit back a little bit, just get that.
It's just my ADHD. Yeah, but I felt very weird about doing that. And so I texted, Steven, and I texted, my friend or called my dad and was like, make sure that I call you when I leave. And like, I just told him where I was. I told him what address I was at. I do that.
Yeah. Some of those realtor safety trainings are really good. There's a guy around here that does them. He's
pepper
like
spray.
Yeah. Whatever you got. That's great.
Yeah.
Tell me, pretend that I live in, I don't know, New York.
Okay.
And I'm considering escaping New York and coming to either Florida or Texas.
Okay.
What are some things that you tell your folks who are relocating?
So Florida brings sunshine. It brings parades in January. We have this wonderful parade called Gasparilla every January. And during that time, there's boats out on the water. And it's, it's a big parade in January. And then I look at pictures all around the nation at that time, and people are like snowed in and miserable. And so like that always I think of. And then just our lifestyle here. Like we've got theme parks, we've got Disney, we've got Universal, we've got the beaches. I feel like we have the best of all worlds. We have great sports teams. We've got the Bucks, the Rays, the Lightning. Like we have so much to offer.
Isn't it weird having to talk about that stuff as a native? Because I'm a native too. I'm born and raised here. Yeah. And it's like, well, this is just how it is. It's hot. And it's sunshiny, this is how it is, but we take it for granted.
We do.
Because up there, like I was in Michigan one year in April.
Okay.
And there was a snow scraper in the trunk of the rental car.
Yeah, no. See, I'm out. Immediately out.
And it was freezing. It was still cold. I got there, I don't know, early April. And I woke up and it was in the teens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not right. Is not for me. This is April. It should be hot on the beach.
Yeah. Right my mom lives in Massachusetts, so I've been up there in the snow, and I traveled one time with my dog up there, and letting out the dog in the snow. Yeah. No. I was like, wait, what? Mm-hmm. You got to put on the boots, put on the socks, put on the jacket.
And then they come in wet and dirty, snow all over. Yeah.
No. Sunshine and the palm trees and the Disney and the beaches and our sports teams. And we just have a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like we've got the Top Golfs and we've got the iFlies and the
it's a
Pop
more-
Strokes and
A more usable year, you know?
Yeah.
Like you can just go out and use
Exactly.
your time more than you can just being cooped up or having to shovel snow.
which
to
I
get
think
out.
brings happiness, especially probably to a family or children. You know, kids don't want to be cooped up in a house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, my kid's outside every day. Like, I couldn't imagine if he was cooped up. He would drive me crazy.
Do you see a lot of those people coming down?
Absolutely.
Like you work with a lot of them?
Yes. I have had so many out-of-state buyers. California, New Jersey, Indiana. Had a couple out-of-state buyers.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's absolutely real. We can tell
Yeah.
living here.
A lot of people that work from home. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very common.
I've had a couple out-of-staters that still work in other states but live here.
How do you think that sets apart the Florida market to
Yeah.
the rest of the country?
I think we're booming. I mean, the growth within Tampa that I've seen, not only like with construction, but just everybody wanting to be in the Tampa Bay area. Tampa Bay area being, you know, like Lakeland, Orlando, down south to like, I don't know, maybe Ruskin, Sarasota line, Wesley Chapel line, over to St. Pete. Tampa Bay area, everybody wants to be here.
Yeah.
It's a cool place to live, you know? Am I concerned about our roads and our schools? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But am I excited about the growth? Like, heck yeah, I'm here for it. Nervous about the traffic, though, because the traffic is getting ridiculous. Like Bloomingdale,
Go to any other
I'm out.
metro area. And
Exactly.
it's the same thing everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has a solution for
can't
that
run
kind
from
of
it.
density. You know, unless you're in New York where you just don't have a car.
Brandon's
And
now
then-
going to be a city.
Yeah.
Like, we're a
Like
city.
for real? Is it a
I
real?
mean,
like for
no.
like, oh, okay.
No, but I feel like it is.
Yeah. It's a big
It's like, it used to be a suburb, but now I feel like it's pretty poppin'.
Yeah. So the people coming here to Florida, how would you suggest that one of them gets started? Like if they were interested in Florida, do you suggest a weekend here, a week here,
Absolutely.
all virtual? Like what do you think they should do?
I mean, have I had sight unseen buyers? Yes, I have. Is it, more stressful for me? Yeah, I send a heck lot more videos and pictures and FaceTimes, but I think they should vacation here. I think you need to find your spot because Florida we're huge. You can go down south, you go over the East Coast, you go
I
West
was
Coast.
saying the other day, like if you were to pick between say
endless.
like Fishhawk and Lakewood Ranch and the Epperson community, those are all like 30, 45 minutes, an hour apart from each
but
other.
they all would run with each other.
Yeah, they're all great, but which part can you be in? That's so hard. Because I've relocated one time. I moved up to Charlotte, North Carolina for about a year. Yeah, I lived. I went during the.
Love North Carolina.
Love it.
Beautiful.
I want to go back one day. I want to have some way to get there, but it was so hard because I didn't know anything about the city. And like you've got South Charlotte, East Charlotte, North Charlotte, Ballantyne.
How do you learn it?
The what are they? I'm having a brain fart here. Whatever the river part up north, Lake Norman, up where all the NASCAR drivers are. It's like this huge area, and I didn't know where to go.
Yep.
Like, am I picking a bad area? Is this going to be terrible?
Yeah, that's why
And
working
so-
with a local agent.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yep.
And I had a rental agent up there because we weren't going to buy. We didn't know what we were doing. So
Yep.
I had a rental agent kind of help me get the lay of the land.
Yep.
Our office location had a big impact on where I wanted to be. I didn't want to be too far across town.
Yep.
So it is hard though. And I only went up there one day for an interview. And then I kind of drove around, looked at some places and kind of understood like where the office is, but I didn't know anything else about Charlotte.
Yep.
And then when I got up there, every day on the news for the first 10 days, there were at least 3 murders and shootings all coming out of different parts of the city. And I'm like, where
Do I need to do my
where
research?
did I move to?
Google.
And then my dad was like, well, this stuff happens in Tampa too, but they just don't put it on the news like this. I was like, I guess.
Probably does.
I don't know. It just
Crime
feels-
report.
I'm feeling a little scared here, being up here away from
Yeah.
everybody. People getting shot everywhere, but
I've had buyers like literally talk exactly like that to me, So It's a real thing. You move into a new city, you don't know anything. You don't know which neighborhoods or roads or, you don't know anything.
How do you help your people acclimate? Like when they get here, do you help them with connections?
Yes.
Or
I've got a great sphere of plumbers, electricians, AC people, handyman, like all those little connections that I've had for years and years and years because I've grown up here absolutely helps me out every day in my work. Like my inspector I've known forever. Like it's a family. My insurance, broker, like I've known forever. Like it's my lender.
The stuff outside of the industry stuff, though, you're a
yes,
native and you have family
restaurants,
here. So,
where Disney, I'm your girl for Disney tips, man. I love Disney. I've got all the mom Disney tips in the world.
Are you a Disney adult?
I am. Yeah. My pass just expired, but we're merging. We're
You're
cheating.
Not a Disney adult.
Well, listen, I've done Disney for years. And so now we're merging over to the Universal. My child has outgrown Disney. Space Mountain does not thrill the full throttle child anymore. So now we're merging over to the Universal. Okay. So I'm about to be a Universal mom.
I like Universal too.
I'm excited.
I'll tell you my true opinion is I hate all theme parks. Because there's just too many people.
Okay, well,
I can't deal with it.
Do you look at crowd calendars?
I look at whenever my wife tells us that it's time to go, we're going.
I need to tell her about the crowd calendar.
Because the last theme park I went to was Universal, and we went through Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And
packed.
I cannot express to you how over it I was being in the middle of that place.
Yeah.
Literally felt like a concert. It felt like I was packed in.
Yeah.
It was...
So crowd calendars are a thing, and they're real, and you should watch them before going to a theme park.
Maybe. I don't know if I'll go back, but next time.
Never see a theme park.
How often do you deal with investors, people wanting to buy investment property?
I have not had any, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with straying away from the investor. It's just not in my model. Nothing against them. I think, investors are great. Like, if anybody wants to work with me, maybe, but
You're more family, plant my roots, be part of the community.
I'm not trying to do anything quick and, cut corners. I'm not a cut corner type person.
So are you saying investors are cut corner people?
No, I don't know. It's quick and fast and it's all money, and it's all numbers.
All data-driven decisions.
And I kind of like having the wife be like, I kind of want a tub, like, I don't know. I like the personal side of it. Not so much all money.
Okay. I get it.
Yep.
What do you tell the people that are waiting on the market to fall before they buy a house?
Good luck. Do you have a magic ball? Do you know what's going to happen? No. Get in while you can. Marry a house, date a mortgage. Refi booms are a thing. That's what I would suggest.
Well, what I tell people whenever that topic comes up is just to pull out a historical chart.
Yeah. Up, down, up, down. Don't just get in.
But up, down, but it's also going to the top and to the right the whole time. Things aren't, you see these little signs in gas stations and Cracker Barrels and stuff that talk about how much milk cost in 1954 and how much a new automobile cost in 1954.
We're going up.
It's never coming back.
No.
And you know what else makes me feel old?
What?
Is thinking about car prices. Back when I used to think there's $1,500 cars out there. You can go get a car for $2,000 or $1,500 if you need to. That's totally all day. Old Honda Civic.
Pay cash. You don't have to have a car payment. Be your work car.
Go find one of those today.
Right. Good luck.
Like you can't get in for like less than $5,000-$6,000 for something that runs. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's nuts. We're old.
I know.
I'm old. You're not old. I'm old.
I mean, I feel like I'm old. My back hurts. Like even the photo shoot today, she had us in positions and I was like, oh God.
This isn't normal. I don't sit like this ever.
She told me, she goes, if your back doesn't hurt, you're not doing it right. I was like, yes, ma'am.
We have a chiropractor subscription here at the office. So,
really?
Yeah, if you want to jump on. Shout out to the Joint chiropractor down on Bloomingdale.
I've heard about it.
It's so cool.
I actually had somebody give me a referral to go there, literally 2 days ago.
It's kind of bare bones, but it's okay. They don't do x-rays. They don't do like more involved stuff that like your classic chiropractor would do.
I just need a pop, man.
They're just there for adjustments. And it's like a hybrid between a gym and like a chiropractor. Ooh. You got a little badge in thing, little barcode keychain, and it logs you in the system. It knows you're there, and then you're next in line. That's how you save your spot. And they've got an open adjustment area. There's 3 tables, and they're just going from table to table. You get in, get settled. They come over, do your thing, and then you're out the door.
Boom.
Yeah, it's
Genius.
so great. And it's
Great
affordable
business.
too. Like it's not super expensive for the adjustments. So you can get on a plan and get so many visits per month. This is not sponsored by the Joint. We can talk about that Joint if you'd like, but it's not sponsored. But anyway, you say your back hurt, and I think about that because
Yeah, no, my back kills me. I sleep on a heating pad. Like my back kills me. Cheerleading 13 years probably did it.
you've been an accident too, right? Didn't you get a car accident?
Airplane.
That's right. Yeah. How's that going? You feeling okay?
My neck is killing me still, but American Airlines has been very good.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, good. Good to know.
Yep.
So when the market comes down is when everybody's going to buy a house. But I can't agree with that because I asked you about investors. We work with investors a lot.
Yep.
And when they wake up and they start buying houses,
You're like market changing.
yeah, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? Like,
I
why are
think
they buying houses?
we've just shifted like within the past 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Like I have seen a huge change in showings, like turn times and showings.
I think a lot of that was people, they're digesting the interest rate hikes and they're not seeing the property values fall with the hikes.
Yeah.
So they're like, wait a minute.
I might as well get in.
Yeah, we're not going to get 3%.
No.
We might have to take 6.
Yep.
But that house is still worth what it was a year or two ago. And
Marry a house, date a mortgage.
Yeah, absolutely. Date the rate.
Yep.
Very, very true.
Refis are a thing.
When you're talking about, you mentioned first-time home buyers, or I mentioned them, you said you loved them.
Love them.
So what do you have? What kind of advice do you have for, and it's a two-parter.
Okay.
So your buyers and your first-time home sellers. Let's talk about buyers first. What would you tell them or give them some pointers on what they need to be doing today?
Getting in touch with a lender, getting all of that in line, start learning locations, neighborhoods.
Can we pause for a moment?
Yeah.
When you say just getting all of that in line, how deep should they go
With finding a lender?
with getting it all in line? Like how deep should their lender, their advisor, whoever they're working with, how far should they go in telling them what they can and can't do to buy a house?
I think they should tell them everything. Like it should be an open discussion.
Should the buyer, what I'm trying to say, like should the buyer lean into that a little bit more and ask some tough questions and make sure that they're getting a full review? Or should they just have somebody gloss over their situation and be like, oh yeah, you got a job, you're good?
No, I think that they need to do their due diligence and put in some research, look at some reviews. I'm all about local. I'm going to push everybody local. I think there's a lot of really good local people and we need to be using them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people coming into our market that's new and there's title companies popping up on every corner now. Like we need to.
I think that might have slowed down a little bit too.
Yeah. Yeah. And now there's some are being bought out.
Yeah. There's just a movement.
Just a couple.
In all of our spaces for sure.
Yeah.
So find a lender and then what?
Definitely agent. Start doing your research on who you want to work with as far as a real estate agent goes, because they're going to bring a lot of help along the way from A to Z. So I love first-time home buyers. I just got a call today from one, and I was like so excited. I was like, "Have you ever bought a home before?" And he's like, "No." Great. Yeah.
What about sellers? I've always thought, first-time home buyers get all the attention.
Yeah.
They get all
And
the
sellers are
marketing
hard.
and everything. First-time home sellers, nobody really ever talks about that. And I think that might be a little bit more stressful situation than buying a house.
Declutter should be your first thought. If you were thinking of selling your home, like the first thing should be start decluttering, start, getting your home to be picture worthy. I think is huge. I think obviously finding a real estate agent that you want to list the home, do your due diligence, give 3 interviews, do some listing presentations, and then just getting your house ready. Maybe a pre-inspection. Pre-inspection's $400 or $500, and they could tell you everything that's going to pull up on an inspection.
And I've got to think that'd be valuable to share with
I did it to
a buyer, right?
Yes.
If they want to come through, you can say, here, this is what we found this, we fixed this, here's the rest of the inspection.
I am the seller that has pre-done a $400 inspection. I already know everything about my house. I already know everything that your inspector is going to find. And I think that's huge. I did it when I sold my house. I did a pre-inspection. I knew everything that was on it. I did all the major stuff and just left the cosmetic stuff.
Do you give, how bold are you when it comes to giving advice on what to declutter? Because you can tell somebody to declutter.
I'm pretty tough about it because I feel like pictures and I want to sell your house. I want to sell your house for top dollar.
Not your stuff.
Yeah,
Right. I want to sell your house, not your
like,
stuff.
love the pictures, and I love this client. I hope she sees this, but she had a mural wall of her son, and I went to school with him. I went to middle school with him. Like, love it. You know, I wish my mom had a wall like that, but we got to take this, we got to declutter. And so she did it. She listened. She left 2 photos, 3 photos, 2 items per shelf. She followed all of her instructions, moved everything out into the garage. The sale was beautiful.
That's great.
Yeah. So just decluttering, getting rid of boxes, getting rid of stuff like I have a spot in my house that is the catch-all. You know, everybody's got a little spot that your boxes gather or whatever, you know, just
Junk drawer.
Junk drawer.
We have 2 junk drawers in our kitchen.
Yeah. Listen, my junk drawer is Stephen, bless his heart. He just went through it. I saw him the other day going through everything. I was like, you were so cute.
We have one that's like electronics oriented, like with cables and chargers and plugs and batteries and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got another with like everything else.
Yeah, yeah.
All the other stuff.
Yeah. So just decluttering, getting ready, doing your, start looking at all comps in your neighborhood. Start figuring out like what other homes sold for what.
Yeah, like get a feel for it. Get a feel for it.
Yeah. See what's been on the market within the past, 3-6 months, what it sold for. Is it comparable to your house? Knowledge. Gather knowledge, get your agent, get a good agent, and start decluttering.
So back to buyer's agents, besides touring homes and opening doors and giving advice on showings, what else does a buyer's agent do day to day, like in either working with clients or working transactions?
Negotiations. We're lining up inspections. We're lining up all the lender stuff. Like we're also a little puzzle maker. We're holding your hand. We're helping you read contracts. Nobody's read a contract.
Yeah.
Nobody has read a contract. There's people in the real estate industry. There's agents that haven't read a contract. So knowing knowledge of what people are signing it's important to me. I mean, I read my contract like 7 times.
Is that before you're in title or after?
When I was in title.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's why you need somebody to help hold your hand, because you don't know. You don't know who's going to read it for you.
Yeah.
Mom and dad are great, but somebody that's like in it, they're going to give you some tips.
Speaking of tips, do you have anything to tell anyone who would be looking to join the real estate industry and looking to be a realtor for the first time with no experience? Do you have any advice for a person like that?
That's a hard one because it's hard. The hype of like, oh, I'll just become a real estate agent and I'm going to make a ton of money. Like that's not realistic. Like you got to grind. Like you don't have a team. You don't have people to do your marketing. You don't have somebody designing your stuff. Like you have to be the person setting up your business cards, setting up your stuff, setting up your boards. Like you don't have a company with backing. Like, I mean, yes, my brokerage has backing, but I don't have anybody hold my hand.
Right.
Like,
well, you're not
as
an employee.
Agent. No.
You're not
I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
So if
I think a lot of people lose sight of that it really is self-employment.
It is self-employment.
Like, tie yourself to whatever brand that you want to tie yourself to. It is self-employment.
Yeah.
And if you don't either hire salespeople to make sales and hire operations to handle operations, it's you.
It's me.
It's all you.
Yep.
You're the one. It's just like owning a bakery.
So I feel like that knowledge, a lot of agents just, I'll just, sign on with blah, 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 and I'm going to kill it. I'm a salesperson. And it's like, that's not.
So would
how
you,
it happens.
I guess everybody's different. Depends on who they are as a person, what they do. But would you say joining a team structure would be a better entry into the industry than trying to go it on your own?
I do, because I think it's just gonna be knowledge. You're gonna be listening
kind of a built-in mentor.
Yes, like you're a rookie, man. I'm a rookie. I'm gonna be a rookie for a long time. Like I consider myself every day I'm learning. Every day I'm reaching out to Cabot or a team member and I'm asking them a question. Like we're always going back and forth with stuff, and I feel like if you're not learning, like you're not going to be growing. So I hope I'm learning in 25 years. I hope I'm still learning in 25 years.
Yeah. Well, a market shift like this will make you learn more.
Yeah. Yeah. And I learned on the HUD. Like when I started in title was on the HUD.
We don't talk about the HUD.
See, I still miss the HUD.
No, we don't talk about it. It's all CD.
Oh, CD. Good old Trid. But yeah, I would suggest a team or just, I don't know, even maybe starting out in a different area of real estate, whatever that may be.
Like somewhere with a paycheck, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, you can learn.
Yes. And just start gathering, your info and getting your ducks in a row. I think that was good. Yeah. I mean, I'm so glad I started in title.
Yeah.
I owe a lot to title.
Could you imagine just stepping into that industry only knowing what you've picked up as a civilian?
Absolutely not.
Right?
I would
out of
fail.
the industry.
If I was coming from the T-Mobile,
Yeah.
and just, I'm going to be a real estate agent, I could not imagine. I could see why we have an 86% failing rate. 86% failing rate. Understood.
Yeah, you got it. You had exposure to so many agents during that time, and offices and networking and the bad side and the good side and the show side and the sales side and all of that. You were right in the middle of it.
Yeah. So I did the closings. So I got to meet the clients at the end of the transaction, right? So I'm sitting there and here comes buyers and sellers, and I get to hear everything that they are saying about their agent. Good, bad, whatever it may be. And I just literally just took it all in. And I'm like, don't do that, do that.
Like you're hearing all that stuff and you're forming your outlook on that whole
and I think
thing.
that's why I'm very strong-willed about what I want as a real estate agent. Like, I'm not wanting to have, too big for my britches, I don't, and that's why I don't ever want a client to come into a closing and my reputation be torn or bad because of a horrible, experience.
Yeah. Having a title agent be like, oh, we hear that all the time.
All the time. Yeah. And it's the same, I don't want to say it's the same agents, but and then there's part-time agents out there, and bless their heart, like they do it part-time to start out. But if I'm calling you and I need to get a hold of another agent and like your answering machine says, please call me after 5.
Yeah.
Like,
it's kind of scary.
What are you part-time for your clients? Because I'm not part-time for my clients. I'm full-time. Like, I'm in it to win it 100%. So if I have a second job, who's going to come first? My client and like the deal? Or is it going to be my first job? So I don't know. Part-time scares me.
Yeah.
For longevity.
For long. Like some people, you get it. You got to start. I started part-time as a real estate agent way back then.
And did you ever feel bad because you couldn't do like a showing or you couldn't be there for a client because you were preoccupied with another job?
It never really came up during that time because I was a part-time agent for maybe 6 months.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a really long period of time. And it's not like I was doing a ton of volume during that time either. So that never really came up, but I knew that I can't dedicate my career to this helping people unless I get rid of this daily thing that I have to do.
Yep.
And that's when I stepped out, and I had to. Like, I couldn't do marketing. I couldn't do running around. I couldn't do open houses. I couldn't do this, couldn't do that. Like, all kinds of stuff that I just was not able to do, that I knew that I had to do to make it work.
Yeah.
So I think everybody hits that point in their own time, their own track.
For sure.
And
and just staying in the knowledge part. Like, as a part-time agent, I couldn't imagine you're doing a lot of trainings or like, updates on contracts.
We're seeing a lot of like real world scenarios.
Yes.
Things coming through because I feel like you learn from every transaction.
Absolutely.
Whether you want to or not.
Every transaction's different.
The more that you can see trends, you can see how you solve this problem here and you're able to apply that and do the same thing here.
Exactly.
Like, all of that starts clicking once you get that experience under your belt.
Yep.
And that's why experience is so important.
Yeah.
What do you stay active and present in your community? Like, do you do anything in your neighborhood or school or church or club or whatever? Like, what do you think? What do you like to do outside of showing houses and being?
I'm a pretty private. I've got my friends and I've got my family. But no, I'm not a member of a church. I don't do any. I live on property, so I don't have any neighbors. I mean, I have, shadowing neighbors, but not immediate neighbors.
Right. You don't have to say hi to them when you step out to get in your car. Right?
I don't have to say hi to anybody walking out my door. So no, I mean, I guess Kyson's school, my son's school, I'm very close with the administrative staff there and the teachers. And I guess that would be my, out of work, out of family, out of friend circle. That would be my sphere. Have I done the BNIs in the chambers? Yeah. Did it for a long time in title. I I just got burnt out. Like BNI and chamber, it just burnt me out.
They are jobs within a job.
Yeah.
You know,
So
there's a lot of commitment to that for sure.
yeah, nothing against it.
Yeah,
I learned a lot.
they're great groups.
That's how we
right.
met.
Yeah, I've been parts of them.
Yeah.
And I think everybody has a life cycle like that.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of comes and goes, and you get in and out when you need to or
Yep.
want to, or
Yeah.
feel that you can fit that kind of activity
Yep.
into your life.
Yeah. So I have a 5-year-old now. So my
Yeah, it's a lot
spare
different.
time is just, out in the boat or, with my family or my friends or theme parks. I'm a theme park person.
I'm not a Disney person. What advice do you have for fellow agents that are working today or alongside you? Like top producers, people that you're on the other side of a transaction. You have any advice for them or
Yeah.
any observations?
2 things: consistency and communication. Definitely. Like
In
I think
the age
being
of
consistent,
The age of communication that we're in,
got to communicate.
it's like people don't communicate as much.
I pick up the phone. I am old school.
As easy it is to
Like,
reach each
call
other.
me.
I mean, there's like 8 ways you can reach me right now.
Yeah.
Right? You too, everybody.
Yes.
And it's like it's gotten harder to
Yeah.
to get people to pick up the phone.
Yep.
When you only had one way and you needed an answer, you'd get an answer quick.
I prefer it. I'm all about a phone call. I'm all about a FaceTime. I'm a FaceTime person. I FaceTime my family. I FaceTime my immediate friends. They all know it. Like me, David and I, we FaceTime. Like if I'm talking to you, like I want to see you. Like, what are you doing? So,
What do you think the biggest challenges are that we face in our market today? And let's take it back to Florida. Let's
I was
not
gonna say running out of houses.
inventory. Absolutely.
Dude, running out of inventory.
Yeah, I think inventory it can be a problem. But I think if you're in the game now and you're looking, that you will find a house. I don't think it's gotten to the point of where it's like, I mean, are you seeing people give up because they
I
can't
haven't
find
had
anything?
anybody give up, but I have had, because they want to be fine tuned to a certain area. So like if you get the location is pinpointed very small, then okay, I only have 5 listings in that area
Right.
that fit your criteria, So yeah.
I saw people giving up more during the bidding wars.
Oh yeah.
We lost a lot of people, a lot of pre-approved people that were out there like,
Giving up.
you know what? I'm going to go rent.
Yep.
I'll be back next year.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I see that it's coming back.
Yeah, they're coming
Like
back into it.
I just want a deal because I use an escalation clause. I haven't seen an escalation clause in a year and a half.
Yeah, right.
And we won because there was 3 other offers and we used an escalation clause. So these tools are starting to come back out, and I'm telling you, I've
changes.
2 to 3 months ago is when I've seen this shift. Like when I'm setting up showings 24 hours in advance and the next day they're being canceled because they're already under contract, 24 hours, like
Yeah.
that's back how we were a year and a half ago. So here we are again. We were supposed to crash. What happened? I don't know.
Don't say the C word. We don't want to have that happen.
Don't put it into the juju.
How can you and I make the real estate industry better?
Consistency and communication.
It's funny that comes back to that, right?
Wow. It is. It really is. It's about a relationship. Like my contracts, I feel go a lot smoother because I use the people that I know and trust and that I communicate with. Like I'm not using people that I haven't, worked with before. So I have control over it. And when I work with you, you're not going to drop the ball. You care. You care about me. You care about my clients. You care about my file. So I want to use you
But
because
when you
care.
wind up in a call center
Yeah.
with 8,000 employees, what's going on? I don't know.
Yeah, oh, I don't know. I don't have your file anymore. It moved to desk 22 with, Susie. Like,
Yeah.
I don't ever want to lose control over things, and I want to keep, the relationship strong. I feel like people just want a good product. They want a good transaction. They want it to go smooth. Nobody wants it to go bad.
The only people that call them transactions are people like us.
Yeah.
Because we see them day in and day out. The people who are buying a house or who are selling or moving or whatever they're doing, that's not a transaction to them.
No.
It's like a life
It's a life-
change.
yes.
They're going through something
Yes.
and they're moving out of somewhere, buying a new place and moving forward with, now I got to go save up for an air conditioner. I've got to go.
Yep.
And we
It's
bought a house
real.
with an old roof and now we have to go put a new roof on. These are big decisions for people. And then I'm taking my son or my kids out of their neighborhood and they're not going to have any friends where we're moving to. So what are we going to, there's so much more going on
Yeah.
with the people than just what we're looking at.
Yeah.
You know, and that's easy to lose sight of at some point, you know, when things get busy and hectic, and like you talk about, you want to keep your hands on it.
Yeah.
Because if you start to let go of that stuff, that's when people feel forgotten.
Like they don't care.
And
Yeah.
unseen, and they don't care what's going on. They just want to put me in the house. They just want me
Yeah.
to
They
close
just
it,
want
you
to
know?
be done with it. And no, like I tell my people that come to me, they're like, oh, well, I think we're ready, but we're not ready. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be doing this till I'm old and gray. So whether you buy a house today or whether you buy a house in a year or 5 years or 10 years, like I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here and I'll support you whenever,
Yeah.
you know? I want to be support. I want to be a help.
Yeah.
I want to make it not stressful. Like this whole like, oh my God, you're buying a house. It's horrible. You know, they take blood and get ready. It's awful.
It's
like
not
that
bad. No, it's not that bad.
Listen, my buyers and my clients would tell you that it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
No.
You just gotta keep your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
Communicate, be consistent.
Easy enough.
Yep.
Do you have a slogan you can work that into? Do you have
No.
like a motto or
I need
something?
to.
Maybe something on your business card?
Dude, I had one on for title talk with Tara or title Tara. And now I don't have one. I need to have one. I need to think of one.
I'll help you.
Okay. You're good at
Figure it
that.
out. What I always like this question because I don't know, I think it makes you think. If a bus dropped you off, if a bus dropped you off 500 miles from home and you had to live there and be there, what would you do to restart your business?
I would know what I have to offer, which is knowledge, title knowledge. I would probably find some type of either brokerage or title company, just somebody that would take me in, and then I would just start the track works right on over. I would probably do the same thing I did. Either get in with like a brokerage and be like an assistant. Start at the ground. You got to start at the ground. Like I started at the bottom with title, you know, and you got to pay your dues, right? So I would go into a new town and I would pay my dues. I'd find something in the world that I want to be in, real estate, and I would start paying my dues again.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't go in like a big shot.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you got nothing to back it up yet.
No.
You need some result. I can't talk to anybody about anything until I have done it.
Yeah.
You know, until
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got some results to show.
Yeah.
How do you sum up your approach to your business in real estate?
If you take care of the people, business will take care of itself.
That's
Just
a nice, yeah,
be
that's
kind,
really-
do
that's true.
right, have a good product, and do the right thing. Have a backing.
Okay.
Follow through.
Cool.
You know, answer, communicate. I feel like my hospitality, my bartending background in high limit, dealing with like high end people has helped me.
Okay.
Catering, my caring. Like I don't know, I cared so much. I just wanted to make them happy because I was working off tips. Well, that was my income. Mm-hmm. So, and the tips were amazing at Hard Rock.
Well, yeah, when people are throwing out $1,000 hands.
Yeah. And I worked in high limit. So I would have one or two people maybe. So what did I do? I hustled that, you know, I cared. I talked to them.
I went in that high limit room one time
Yeah.
and I put $100 on a blackjack hand and I hit blackjack and got paid out 2-1 or whatever it is, 3-2, whatever that is. And I grabbed it and I'm like, all right, I'm out.
I've
See
seen
ya.
somebody gamble $25,000 a hand.
Wow.
Yeah. And just sit there.
100 was
$25,000
big for me because back at that time they were doing $10, $15 tables.
Yeah.
And that was like 10 hands.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't been there a long time.
Yeah. The Hard Rock, being in hospitality, when I was in college, it definitely taught me to care and to cater to people, you know. I loved bartending, multitasking. It taught me. I kind of miss bartending. Like when Steven and I, when we do go out, I'll like see the bartender and she's back there hustling and, you know, just jiving and going from one to the other. And I miss that. I miss that.
That's a perfect analogy or a perfect definition of a service job,
Yeah.
service industry.
Yeah.
And
I did it for 10 years.
what is a real estate agent?
Yes.
A service person.
Moo,
like
moo,
you're
moo,
helping
moo.
somebody
Yeah.
do something. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
It's all about serving the people.
So maybe that's why I don't like me. I didn't even have a bar back when I worked at Hard Rock. Like, I mean, I did at some parts, but in High Limit, it was just me. I was getting my own ice. I was, doing my own bottles. Like, I like to be in control. I don't like surprises, it's who I am. It's obviously what I've been doing.
You were talking before about, we talked about the idea of you seeing so many people come through title.
Yeah.
Like sitting at closings, buyers, sellers, agents.
Oh my God. I've done thousands of closings.
Through a lot of that. So what do you have any memorable moments? I've got a couple that I've been at over my career, but do you have anything that you remember?
I do. I've got one that I will never forget. The husband was incarcerated. He was in jail. And the wife, they were selling their house. He was okay with it. They were both selling it. I had to go to the jail and be escorted in the back and get his signature. And he didn't say a word. He came in, signed the little papers, and I left. And I went out to the car, and I remember calling my dad. And I was like, I'd never been in a jail.
Yeah, right. And then you're there to do business.
Yeah, like he's having to sell his house. He's incarcerated.
Jeez.
Yeah, that moment was one I will never forget. But I've seen some stuff in title, man. I've signed docs on the hood of a car at a 7-Eleven. I've seen animals.
I think plenty of realtors have done contracts on the trunk of a car too.
Oh my God. I've seen divorces literally go down in the closing room, like selling properties. I've seen some fights, birds, people bring stuff weird to closings. Like I've seen an iguana. Like,
was it an emotional support iguana?
I guess.
I had this one closing I was at. It was the husband and the filed for divorce wife.
Yeah.
And husband's new girlfriend.
Yeah.
And husband or wife's like third boyfriend or something, and they were all in the same room because husband and wife are still married. She still had to sign something,
so she still has to
and
sign.
They literally all showed up at the same. And I was like, "Hey, you guys don't have to be here.
No, not full house.
You don't have to sign. You can sign separate. It's all fine." But no, it was like a family reunion of this thing, and it was the real estate side, like the professionals were tense because they were like, "Oh, what's going to happen
so
in here?"
Awkward.
Because you heard so much drama during the transaction.
Toxicity just
and
everywhere.
Then it went off perfectly. They were cordial.
Really?
They were all very happy
Shocking.
and nice, and we were like, it was a huge sigh of relief at the end.
They played nice in the sandbox.
Yeah. And then the other one that I will never forget is the guy. Do you remember back in school when they had those tape recorders that had the handle that popped out of it and you could carry it kind of like a suitcase or lunchbox? This man sits down and he's buying a house and he says, "If you don't mind," and he reaches down under the table and he brings out this big giant tape recorder. He's like, "I'm going to record this closing.
No.
I need to have a record of what happens today." And we're all like, "Okay,
you'll get copies.
Fine. There's like, whatever. I mean, if you want to do that." I tell you, that title agent was silent through the whole signing.
Really?
She's like,
she was nervous.
"This is your document.
Yeah.
Sign here."
And
title agents normally like what this document says.
Oh yeah.
This talks about this. This talks about this.
Mm-hmm.
This is your amortization schedule.
Yep.
No. She was like, "You know what? I'm not going on record. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you your document and you're going to sign it."
I've had many attorneys sit in, on closings.
Mm-hmm.
I've had one guy, oh my God, bless his heart, I'll never forget him. He wanted to read every single line to the mortgage. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I'm going to step out. Let me know if you have any questions. And he literally sat there and read every single line of this mortgage.
You can totally do that beforehand too. If that's what you like to do with your time and you like to read. And hey, I'll have to tell you, like, I fully expect people to know exactly what they're signing.
Absolutely.
So I hold them to zero fault.
I know.
But maybe that's
but nobody
not
does
the first time that you take a pass at that document, right? You kind of want to know what's in there before you get started.
I mean, he was like literally in his 60s though. Like I highly doubt this was his first house.
Yeah.
I mean, the docs don't really change that much.
No. And you could have, he totally could have got advanced copies of those too.
For sure.
Like that package was ready way early.
Then I had the one lady where you have to like sign all your names, your
the identity
affidavit.
Yeah.
Yep. And she had, I swear to God, it was like 2 full pages of names, and you have to sign exactly how that is,
And you're thinking like, what?
No, I asked her. I had to. I literally was like, wow, you have a lot of aliases. And she looked at me dead in my face and she goes, "I've been married 7 times." And I was like, 7? Like at what point
was your husband with her?
Do you give up? No, she was, I don't even think she was married at the time.
Oh, okay.
But At what point do you give up? 7.
Maybe it worked out in her advantage.
Or there's a common denominator.
Could be too. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's motivation.
Yeah. But yeah, title was very interesting. Very, a lot of learning. Can I tell you about the first story I have with Cabot? And my first open house? Yeah. It's actually a great story.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. So I started in real estate. I signed on with Century 21 and I'm ready to go. And so Cabot Brown asked me if I want to do an open house, and he didn't really give me a lot of prep into it. And he's like, it's a nice house, and come to find out it was a $750,000 home. You actually were on the lending side, Charmwood.
Okay.
And beautiful home. And I was so excited. I went and got the open house signs. And I get my stiletto heels on because I'm a real estate agent. I'm going to go do an open house. And I'm putting out these for sale signs, and my heels are getting caught in the middle of the median. Like, I look like a damsel in distress. Like, don't ever wear heels when you have to put open house signs in the center of a median because you look like an idiot. Anyway, so I get to the house, and it's in the middle of COVID, and it's the hype. And I had no clue, man. I had people inside of the home, people outside of the home, people in their cars waiting. There was 23 families that came through this house that day. I was sweating. I was running upstairs, talking to somebody, running downstairs, talking to somebody. My sign-in sheet was literally like people had turned it over and was signing on the back manually.
I'm a masks are a thing here, right?
Huh?
Are the masks in effect? Like, are people
masks are in effect?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a moment, and I'm stressed out because I'm new. Like, I'm winging it because of my title background, but I'm winging it. And this lady walks in, and she's like, I want to use you. I want you to be my agent. And she was moving from the other coast. She had no clue this was my first deal. No idea in the world. And anyways, there was multiple offers put in on this house. And we ended up winning it. Go back a little bit. When I was closing up for this open house. And I'm turning off all the lights, and I'm, shutting down everything. And there's this one light above the master bed, and it's super high, and I can't figure out how to turn it off. There's no switches anywhere around the room. I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking for a remote. I'm looking, how am I going to turn this damn light off? And so I call Cabot, and I'm like, Cabot, I can't turn this light off. And he's like, oh, that's a clap on. It's a clapper. And so it literally went right over my head, and I was like, oh, okay. I've seen these. And so I'm clapping, and he's like, no. It's 5 to 6 claps. And so I'm like clapping. And he's like, oh, keep going. And so I'm like clapping.
Like,
and he's
like on camera around
and he's
here
literally
somewhere.
like, Tara, get off the damn bed. It's not a clapper. I was like, screw you, Cabot. So a big inside joke of us is the clapper. And I closed up.
That'd be a great closing gift.
Oh, clapper? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So we ended up working that deal. He was on the sell side, I was on the buy side, and it was a great transaction, and it was my first one.
That's cool.
Yep.
I know.
Off the open house.
You had the confidence to be there.
Yeah.
And you were the professional. You were the one that was there.
I just sank or swam. I owned it.
Right.
Nobody knew.
There's nothing.
That client still doesn't know that was my first deal. She ain't got a clue.
Yeah. Well, it was not your first deal, though. It was your first real estate deal.
As a real estate agent.
You've gone through, you've had so much there that contract's not going to scare you.
No, contracts don't scare me. The whole process doesn't scare me. I think that's why, I had that experience, but it wasn't my first deal.
Have you ever gotten to set off a home security alarm and not know how to turn it off?
No, that's not my thing.
Well, it might happen one day.
That's not my thing. Let me tell you what's my thing. I am not good with keys, y'all. And many of my past clients will tell you this, they'll give you a ring of keys. Right? Because one's to the shed, one's to the front door, one's to wherever, And so you've got 6 keys, and you got the front door, and it's hot because it's Florida, and you're sweating.
Or it's raining.
Yeah, and you just want to get in this damn house, and the buyers are behind you, and that's where I fumble, is key locks.
They don't teach you anything about keys and locks.
Or Supra in real estate school,
nope. Do they? Yeah.
And I think there
keys
should be
101.
a Supra box. You should have saw me trying to figure out the whole Super app and Super box.
It's all phone now, right? It's all everybody's phone. Yeah, they don't even have those little keys anymore, do they?
No, but the Super boxes die. There's batteries in them, and they malfunction. They're not. I like when the door has a keypad.
Yeah,
and then we get the keypad, number. I like that.
But I got to open a house once that Listing agent said, "Go ahead, you're good." Walk in.
Wait, you just
Oh no! When I was an agent back.
Yeah.
So listing. Yeah, we made the appointment. Everything was fine. It was not a vacant house. It was just somebody that was like not there. Like it was like a second home or something. So they were never there on business or something. And we went in, and as soon as I cracked the door, what's going on?
And you're like trying to call her.
And my clients are with me, and they're like, it is loud. It's not like some little beep. It's like piercing. And I can't get a hold of the lady. She's not answering her phone.
She's probably at her second job.
She's not texting back. And I'm like, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you can go and look around. I'll stay out here, wait for the cops. But this happens. And I bet you that happens probably every day to somebody.
The stuff that we see, the rooms that I have walked into, like not just like dirt. Everybody, I think, automatically thinks of like, oh, was it dirty or no? Like I've seen some interesting rooms, some very interesting
people.
rooms.
You never really know what you're dealing with till you go in the house.
No,
you're looking around.
No, there's a lot of things that they don't hide. They just leave out, and I'm like, oh wow, there it is in all of its glory. Walked into a room with a bunch of guns, just weird stuff. Yeah.
They should probably lock those up if their house is for sale, right?
Yeah, I would think.
At least put them in a safe.
Yeah.
So how do people reach you and get a hold of you?
Cell phone, social media, website, email.
What's your phone number?
813-352-2868.
What's your email address?
burleyrealty@gmail.com.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a website or a team website?
Yes, but we're launching our new one, so more to follow there. I'm not going to give you the old one.
Some suspense.
Yep. We took the shots today, so more to follow there.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Tara, so much for coming on the show. I hope you had a good time. I really enjoyed getting to know you and learn a bit more about you.
Thank
you. Hopefully you guys out there listening have some stuff to take away. And we're looking for guests. So if I come up to you and I want to get you on the podcast, maybe you can say yes. It's not that intimidating, right?
Yes.
It's not that big of a deal.
Thank you so much for having me. I love this kind of stuff. I think it's great for marketing. So definitely other agents should do it.
Yeah, I think so.
Come talk.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
That's such a good one. Yeah. So there's this crime junkie podcast that I listen to, and it's called True Crime Garage. And it's just two dudes, and they do a beer fund. So like they start out and